Have you ever wondered why we love characters who break all the rules? From Loki in Norse mythology to Bugs Bunny in cartoons, every culture seems to have its famous troublemakers. These characters aren't just there to make us laugh. They're part of something much deeper, something psychologists call the Trickster Archetype. Today, we're going to explore why these chaos-bringing characters might be exactly what we need in our lives. Let's start with something you might find surprising. Chaos isn't always bad. Think about how a forest fire, as destructive as it is, actually helps some seeds germinate and create new life. Or how breaking down muscle through exercise makes it grow back stronger. Sometimes, things need to be shaken up for growth to happen. That's where the trickster comes in. But what exactly is a trickster? Imagine a character who breaks all the rules, but in doing so, accidentally makes things better. They're clever, but often foolish, powerful, but frequently get into trouble, and they love turning the world upside down. They're neither good nor evil. They're agents of change. Let's look at some famous tricksters throughout history. In West African stories, there's Anansi the spider, who once tried to collect all the world's wisdom in a pot. As he climbed a tree to hide it, the pot kept slipping. His son pointed out that if he carried the pot on his back instead of his front, it would be easier. Anansi was so frustrated at receiving wisdom from someone else that he dropped the pot, scattering wisdom throughout the world. His foolishness ended up benefiting everyone. In Native American traditions, we find Coyote, who often gets into trouble through his own greed or stupidity, but ends up creating something useful. In one story, Coyote tried to catch a rabbit by throwing a stone, missed, and created the mountains. His mistakes shaped the landscape we know today. The ancient Greeks had Hermes, messenger of the gods, who started his divine career by stealing Apollo's cattle when he was just a baby. But this same troublemaker also helped heroes on their quests and guided souls to the afterlife. Even his theft led to a positive outcome. He invented the lyre, an ancient musical instrument, to apologize to Apollo, bringing music into the world. In Norse mythology, there's Loki, who caused endless problems for the gods, but also helped them out of difficult situations, usually ones he created in the first place. He once cut off all of Thor's wife's hair, but then tricked dwarves into making magical golden hair to replace it, along with other powerful gifts for the gods. Now, you might be wondering, why do we need characters like these? What's so important about chaos and rule-breaking? Let's break it down. First, tricksters show us our blind spots. When they break social rules, they make us question why those rules exist in the first place. Think about court jesters in medieval times. They were the only ones allowed to mock the king, often pointing out problems that no one else dared mention. By playing the fool, they could speak truth to power. Second, tricksters bring innovation. When you follow all the rules and stay in your comfort zone, nothing new happens. But when someone comes along and breaks the pattern, that's when creativity flows. Take Charlie Chaplin's Little Tramp character. By making fun of authority figures and social norms, he helped people see the absurdity of modern life and question the status quo. Third, and perhaps most importantly, tricksters teach us flexibility. In a world that's constantly changing, being too rigid can break you. The trickster shows us how to bend without breaking, how to laugh at our mistakes, and how to adapt when things don't go as planned. Let's look at how tricksters work in modern stories. Consider the character of Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. He's unreliable, often drunk, and seems to fail upward through life. But his unconventional thinking helps him survive situations that would kill a more traditional hero. His chaos has a method to it. Or take Tony Stark, Iron Man. He's arrogant, breaks rules, and causes problems, but his innovative thinking and willingness to challenge the status quo make him a crucial force for positive change. Even when he messes up, like creating Ultron, his mistakes push the story forward and lead to necessary developments. In our daily lives, we can see the trickster archetype at work in many ways. Think about that friend who always seems to create drama but somehow makes life more interesting. Or that coworker who questions everything but ends up finding better ways to do things. Even children embody the trickster spirit when they ask why about things adults take for granted. But here's where it gets really interesting. Chaos and order need each other. too much order leads to stagnation. Nothing grows, nothing changes, nothing improves. But too much chaos leads to destruction. The trickster helps maintain the balance by shaking things up just enough to allow growth without causing complete collapse. Scientists have actually found that systems need a certain amount of chaos to function properly. Your heart doesn't beat in perfect rhythm. It has natural variations that keep it healthy. Your brain needs random connections to be creative. Even evolution relies on random mutations to create new possibilities. The trickster teaches us something profound about life. Perfection isn't the goal. In fact, perfection can be dangerous. Think about a perfect lawn. It's actually a dead ecosystem. A healthy ecosystem needs disturbance, variety, and yes, a little chaos. This applies to society too. Progress often comes from people who challenge the system. Martin Luther King Jr. broke unjust laws to fight for civil rights. Early suffragettes were arrested for demanding women's right to vote. These weren't tricksters in the mythological sense, but they understood that sometimes you need to disrupt the status quo to create positive change. In our personal lives, embracing the trickster's lessons can be powerful. When we make mistakes, instead of beating ourselves up, we can ask, what can I learn from this? When things don't go as planned, instead of panicking, we can look for unexpected opportunities. When someone challenges our beliefs, instead of getting defensive, we can be curious about different perspectives. The trickster also teaches us about resilience. These characters often fail, get caught, or face punishment, but they always bounce back. They show us that failure isn't the end. It's often just the beginning of a new approach. In a world that often demands perfection, this is a crucial lesson. Think about your own life. Have your best stories, biggest learning moments, or most significant changes come from everything going perfectly according to plan? Or did they come from unexpected turns, mistakes, and moments of chaos that forced you to adapt and grow? Here's a practical way to use the trickster's wisdom. Next time you face a problem, ask yourself, what would a trickster do? Not to cause trouble, but to think outside the box, to question assumptions, to find unexpected solutions. Maybe the normal way isn't the best way. Maybe what looks like a mistake could be an opportunity. As we wrap up, remember this. The trickster isn't just a character in old stories. It's a reminder that chaos isn't our enemy. It's a natural and necessary force for growth, innovation, and change. Without it, we'd never learn, never grow, never create anything new. So next time things get chaotic, or someone disrupts your careful plans, or life takes an unexpected turn, smile and think of the trickster. Maybe, just maybe, that chaos is exactly what you need to move forward, grow stronger, or discover something amazing. After all, as any trickster would tell you, the most interesting stories never follow a straight line.